Only war.
Oh, that's good. What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We did it again. We just won Nova Open, the super major in DC with our Chaos Colt. I got the little trophy right here. So this is the first time we got this little chainsaw trophy. We did it not thinking that we could do it, but back-to-back majors. If you guys are clicking on this video, you want to see what won, why it won, what the list was, what I went against. We do a lot of these videos on the Dirtbag Nation over at YouTube. All these videos get posted up ahead of time on Patreon. So if you guys want to support the channel, get a little bit of coaching. We are ranked #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world, or as of right now. We have 2 more majors to come to get into staying in that #1 spot. But in this video, we're going to be going over the first 3 games of Nova. We're going to be going over the next 3 games after that, and then the next 3 games after that in our third part of the video. So guys, I really appreciate all the support. Everybody that I saw at Nova, thanks for coming up to me and just mentioning what you liked about the 40k Dirtbags, what got you into it, how we kind of got you into the competitive scene, and a lot of stuff that you learned from our tactical videos, because we strive to try and teach everybody the core rules as much as we possibly can to get people really good at just winning more games than they play. You don't have to be a champion at this game. It's really just having fun and knowing that you're not messing up a rule, or knowing that you should have done something differently. Like, you just go and play and roll some dice. And a lot of the games that we had at Nova was super fun this year. Like, this year was probably my best year I went to Nova so far, obviously because we did get the win, but the opponents that I played were all super friendly. We only had 1 tight game, but all the other games just ran smoothly. A couple suggestions I did in the Nova email that they sent to us. I would suggest that they allow clock. I think clock came up a bunch in these games, as well as the space was better this year than last year, and the blue hue that they have in the lights, you're gonna see in the pictures that we have here, the hue is just a little bit tweaking in some of the pictures, but we're gonna get into a lot in these videos. It's gonna be a little bit longer. It might be about an hour in each video, but I just want to give a shout out to my Patreons. Again, I wouldn't be doing this without you guys. The Grandmasters and competitive, you guys are getting into that competitive scene. You can sign up for our coaching and we can go over a list, ideas, tactics, one-on-one calls, all that stuff over the patreon.com. We have Worlds coming up. We actually just got invited to Worlds in November. We won a free flight with this Nova win, so that's pretty cool. We got Worlds, which is over 50 countries flying out to Georgia, and I think 5 different continents. They're all flying out, so it's gonna be insane. I'm gonna do a lot of videos on that one. We got LVO, which is Las Vegas Open. If you guys haven't gone to Las Vegas, Mike Kevo actually went right when he started 40k, lost most of his games, but he learned so much and had so much fun. Definitely find a group, and if you guys can come up and meet us there, that'd be freaking awesome. But Las Vegas Open is coming up in January, which will be the last ITC ranking win games that they have, so we definitely have to make it out to there. I already said that we're #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world, so that's pretty legit. And then we have the Dirtbag merch. So the Dirtbag merch is up on Discord. If you guys want to hop over to Discord, it's one of the best Discords out there. We have the poker chips, which I actually used in the final game against Tony, and we put those on the Games Workshop stream. So there's some Dirtbag tokens that we used for ritual and objective markers and sticky, so those things are legit. They're poker chips. We have all the proxy models. So old school Cypher, which is so much better than the new Cypher, or old school Codiez, which is way better than the new Codiez. We have a sick ass Cypher proxy. We have a Tech Marine, which is super hard to find. We have Phobos Librarian, Phobos Captain, and the Calidus Assassin, which should be in every single Imperial list out there. Same with Cypher. And then we have the widgets. The widgets are legit. Watch the last game that we have on stream. They didn't let me go on stream because most of my models are 3D printed for my cultist. So Games Workshop said, hey, we have no choice. He's the final opponent. We have to put him on stream. So we'll get into that in the third video. And then we have the dice. So the silver dice are sold out. We only have about 30 left of the black dice, about 30 left of the green dice, 200 of the orange dice, and about 50 left of the blue dice. Once they're sold, they are gone forever. All the stickers are $3 each. They're legit. You can put them on the cases or anything you guys have. And brand new news, we have a merch store. So I was super excited to make this. I literally spent hours and hours and hours making these designs and putting them up on the web for you guys. But all of these, we have sick ass desk mats, which I just ordered one myself. We have these tumblers, which are dishwasher safe. I ran mine the other day to test it. We have tumblers, we have mugs, we have hoodies. I ordered the hoodies kind of like see how they are. But it's basically that athletic material, which are legit. We have some hats, koozies, obviously because the Dirtbags can't have it without beer. We have the beer stein, really cool shirts. We got the muscle tees, the hats, the trucker hats. I just got mine. It's super comfortable. We have the jerseys and all these stickers you can get on t-shirts as well. Same with the hoodies, shorts, legit. So I just had to throw that out there because this is brand new. So it's going really well. A lot of people, a lot of the Patreons are supporting the channel and getting the Dirtbag merch. But yeah, if you guys want to head over there, all the links will be in the description below. We're talking to a bunch of sponsors coming up and new on the channel. Rexar Lasers, still one of the biggest sponsors we have. Shout out to Rexar Lasers, who provides the terrain for us that we use in all of our battle reports. And the clear plexiglass, if you guys want clear plexiglass, which you can take to any store, any game store, and put it down and use really good Games Workshop terrain, that's in the link below. Make sure you use the code DIRTBAG so you guys get free shipping on orders of, I believe, over $99. Or it might be $50. I think it's $50. Yeah, so we're going to get into this video. We're going to talk about the first 3 games, picture by picture, turn by turn, what we did good. Then we got the next 3 games and the next 3 games after that. So depending on what video you're clicking on, you probably already heard this. You can just skip forward to this part and we'll come back with some pictures for you guys to go over how the hell Chaos Cult won its second super major. All right, guys, so this is the list for the Chaos Cult. So it's basically the same as what we did for Lone Star Open that we won. So the only thing that changed is the Beast of Nurgle. Beast of Nurgle actually came in clutch in this weekend, but we'll go straight down it. Guys, it's Cypher. Cypher should be in every single Chaos Space Marine list. If you don't have him, I got him to sell for the proxy. Really cool Cypher model, but Cypher, legit, Vect. I played him very defensively. He didn't die, I don't think, once this weekend. Just give you an idea of how much pressure the Chaos Cult puts into him, and you playing them defensive. He might have died once, I have to try and remember, but playing him very defensively and using him to your advantage, I use them mainly for Vect. So if I can, or not Vect, you have to run them for Armor Contempt. So they have to use 2 CP for Armor Contempt, use 2 CP for Heroic, use 3 CP for an Interrupt, or 3 CP for Fight on Death. So super good at eating up the opponent's CP that they did not plan to eat up. We have a Dark Apostle with a Tainted Vigor. This guy is the Leadership 5 in your army. When I say he's Leadership 5, nobody really believes it. I have to pull it up and say, nope, he's Leadership 5. And then he can take another unit out of Battle Shock. So this is really good for the 1 CP that it's full Rerolls, Day, and Wound. So if you really need to get that off, you're basically moving up or advancing them up to the other unit. Say, hey, that unit now is not Battle Shocked. And then they can kind of go up and go kill whatever they want to kill. So he's really good at keeping an objective with his Accursed Cultist unit. With being Leadership 5, he's really good against Tyranids, making another unit not Battle Shock, because that came up a lot. And he could bring 3 models back. So that's the enhancement on him. With the enhancement of bringing 3 models back, it doesn't say 3 little guys or 3 big guys, it just says 3 models. So you can bring 3 big guys back if you roll that 3, which is 9 wounds just coming back to the squad, and they hit really freaking hard. And it helps extend the range for a charge as well. So turn 1, if you roll like a Dark Pact or a getting the extra move and you kill a guy, you're like, great, that's going to be the guy that I'm going to bring back next turn to help increase my charge turn 2 a lot. So if you fail the Desperate, great. If you succeed a Dark Pact or try and re-roll it to try and fail it, this will go for the same thing for the other Dark Commune, but try and fail it so that way you kill the guy and then you can make 1 guy next turn. So that's like big brain thinking for turn 2. Then we have the Dark Communes. So one of them has the Goad, one of them has the Foresight. I think the Goad is the +1 strength. So this one is key for killing vehicles, higher toughness models, stuff like that. But they're the ones that are coming in from reserves every single game. So they need to hurt themselves. So when they come in from reserves, they're rolling a Desperate Pact, even though they can't move or advance, or they want to try and charge, they can't do it. So you're just trying to kill a guy, but mainly you're walking on the table edge, and then you're trying to do a Dark Pact to try and kill you guys. So if you pass the Dark Pact, roll it again to try and fail the Dark Pact, and then kill one of your guys. So you're trying to kill one of your guys on purpose, at least one, so that way it procs the +1 strength, because the +1 strength is only when you kill a guy, and then you get +1 attack if you're at below half strength. So usually when all the little guys are dead, you're now at half strength, so all the big guys are doing d6 +3 attacks at strength 6, which is just brutal. So that's that unit. Then we have the Dark Kami with the War Foresight. This is the Scout 6 guys. So I spread them out. I did the yellow unit, which is the Scout 6. They have the wings, which makes sense. We have the red guys, which are like the corn guys, which are the +1 strength, which makes sense. And then we have the green guys, which are the Vigor, who comes back, which is like Nurgle. So I kind of color coded them and made it easier for my opponent to know exactly which unit belongs in which unit. Fabius Bile, I love him. I brought him in the list when I first made this list. If you have a guy in your army that can come back on a 2+, put him in your list. See how good he is, and see how annoying he is to deal with. There even is a kill team guy, or Deathwatch guy, the new guy that comes back on a 2+. Even if he's solo, just coming in from reserves, running up and doing something, and then killing a bunch of shit and getting back up. Like, he's a really good piece for secondaries. So he is in the list because he'll gain the keyword for Damned when he joins a Damned unit of Cultist. So he gets to go in the Rhino, move out 11 inches. He has an anti-infantry 2+ pistol, 3 shots. He can explode on 6s, 2 damage, AP1. He gets a blank a damage roll. He gets to add a toughness to the Cultist, so the toughness 4. Like, he does a lot for this list, guys. He is like the backbone of the backfield of my list. He's always in the north of the map. He's always on a Rhino. He's tanky as all hell. He's super quick and usually gets across the board to go get the second or third wave into my opponent. So I love Fabius Bile. For 85 points, he is so worth it to bring into this list. We got 5 cultists. They're all 10-mans to stop the horde. Called the Horde. So to stop the opponent from getting easy points by killing 20 cultists, or having like 2 cultists left and then they just throw a random crack missile into them and then kill the last 2, get a 5 points. I bring all 10-mans because I just want to go for mass bodies and mass options of spreading out and blocking out the field. So that's why we brought 50 of them, and they all have sticky objectives. So you kind of run up, make an objective sticky, and then just keep pushing forward if they don't have any reserves. Then we got 6 full max Trader Guardsmen units, which are all battle line. So battle line is really good in most of Pariah Nexus. They have a lot of secret missions that you get for battle line, and special things that you can do actions with. So having like 13 of these guys in your list is just so good. I tested out this in the last couple missions or things was the plasma gun, the flamer, and not the grenade launcher. This is my old list. I switched the grenade launcher for the melta gun. So all these guys have a melta, plasma, and flamer. The melta just hilariously being able to wound a tank, auto wounding on a 6 is just hilarious. So that's why we brought the melta. Just had a little bit extra like d6 damage coming into the list. The grenade launcher didn't really do anything. I brought it for the hordes. I never faced a horde and just didn't do anything for me. And the flamer just for chaff, sisters, Eldar, small other cultists, stuff like that. So then the Rhino, we brought the Rhino. This is Doug's idea. So the Rhino's in there to do secondaries, really, to be a quick movement piece, to hide, usually turn 1 and turn 2 until they bring it down, and when they get bring it down, they can't ditch it because I have a Rhino. So it's the only vehicle on the list, and you're hiding it most of the time because if they bring it down, they can only get 2 points on it, and they can't ditch it. So it's a really low secondary for them to score, as well as they have to kill it around the 205 bodies that they also have to kill in front of them. So the Rhino's there to transport Fabius Bile with 10 cultists and just be super annoying. All right, so then we got the triple ACDC, or Curse Cultists. They are just insanely good. I would say their points could go up 10 points each, I would be fine with that. If they went up 20 points each, I would be fine with that. If they go up 30 points each, I would not be fine with that. Or if they got rid of Howling Horde, I would not be fine with that. So this list could potentially change going into the next LVO. Then we traded our spawn for Beast of Nurgle. Beast of Nurgle came in clutch this whole weekend. I'll explain why in each game. Toughness 9, 7 wounds, 5 up invuln, heals every phase that you don't kill it. Gives me another deep strike option instead of just the sisters just the demonettes. I now have another option for a deep strike unit doing secondaries, which is mainly his function. He comes down, does a secondary. If there's no secondaries for him to do, comes down, sits on a point, and just waits. Then we got 10 demonettes, another deep strike unit that has an 8-inch on the charge out of deep strike because of the either instrument or icon or whatever gives it them. I don't know. One of these two gives it to them. They're OBSEC 2 as well. So anything with OBSEC 2 with this amount of bodies is just super hard to chew through. They steal objectives a lot, and their speed like 7 or 9. Usually they just come down and charge or die, but they're really quick if they come down and don't die, so they can move up and then charge. And being OBSEC 2, that's basically 20 OBSEC you can get on a point to steal it, even in the backfield objective. Because usually you're pushing one side and then they don't have anything to go behind your Accursed Cultist, so they're usually pushed in their deployment zone. So you can just deep strike your demonettes right behind your units and then charge through them to get into their deployment zone on turn 2 usually. So I really like them. They are the tax to bring in the Seekers, but for the last 2 GTs, the Lone Star Open, they actually won me Lone Star Open, and then this GT, they actually played a huge role in a lot of these missions, especially with Overwatch and stuff like that. So really good for the Demonettes for 100 points. They went down 10 points. And then Nurgles, they are only there for the scout move. So anytime somebody else has infiltrate and we roll off to see who places first, I always place first. So that way I can put my Nurgling unit out front. So that way I can move up my scout, Accursed Cultist unit, and then my scout Seekers. So they are specifically in the list only for that. If there's no infiltrate, I might put them last, and then just have them be there for the -1 to hit, or it's really good in the melee armies like Dark Angels, Blood Angels, other Chaos Space Marines, World Eaters, and Space Wolves. So it's really good just for those matchups. Yeah, so Nurglings are actually pretty key in the list. And then the Seekers. So the Scout 9, Speed 14, +1 to advance, +1 to charge, and reroll advance, reroll charges. They can't advance to charge, but still the rerolls are nuts. So they are just bulleting across the board to be annoying and usually spreading out to block off the opponent from doing anything turn 1. So that's the secret mission. That was the secret tech going into 10th edition. I was like, these guys are insane. We're putting them in every list, and they are still in almost all of my horde lists with the Accursed Cultist. So that's the list, guys. Let's get into the battle report of game number or whatever video you guys are watching. All right, guys. I won a Dark Eldar battle box. If anybody's interested in getting some Dark Eldar, message me on Discord. We can exchange it or trade it or sell it. And I'll ship it out to you guys. So just want to get rid of that because I'm not going to be running Dark Eldar. All right, so this is the first matchup, guys. We have the awesome player who is playing Eldar. He was very kind, very friendly, painted very good looking Eldar Yunari with the troop units and the regular guardsmen and the uppy downy guys and the fight first dude, the big Wraith Knights or Wraith Guard, and Avatar Arcane. So if you guys are new to the Dirtbag Nation, I don't know a lot of the names. I talked about this in an interview with Art of War, and I win the games by knowing core rules, playing your army to its fullest, and the movement phase, basically. So a lot of these videos you're gonna kind of like make fun of me, which is fine because I love the comments when you're saying like, oh, you don't even know this guy. Like, no, I don't, but I fucking won a major. So these guys, I don't know all their names, so help me out and leave in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel. But that's my description of how this video is going to go. Is I'm going to say, all right, so these guys over here, the uppy downy guys, which you know they're the jump dudes with the wings, the fight first guy, which is the character right there. Like, I know he has fight first, so I know what I have to look out for. The character there, the spiders there, the troop unit, the Yunari chick, and the scorpions. So I know some of the names, but that's how it's going to be most of the time in all three of these videos, unless I play them all the time or it's my army. So that's the army, guys. It's the standard Eldar tournament list, so I kind of knew what to go into it. I knew how to get around the fight first guys and all that stuff, and ignore Avatar Arcane once he has that -1 to wound up on him. So this game was fun. This is the first time he played Chaos Cult. We're going to go over that a lot in these videos, but this is our deployment. We actually have a mission packet. So this is really cool. Craig on our team of Cuddy Buddies actually made this for everybody. It's got day 1, day 2, day 3, and I actually printed this out, and it worked so well. So if you guys have anything, like, this is a highly suggested thing, is having the terrain map, the measurements, the missions on day 1 or game 1, 2, and 3, and literally it helped out so much. So this one, mission 1, is take an old, raise banners, and tipping point. That's kind of how we set everything up here. The tipping point is the 30 inches or 20 inches up and then go diagonal. These guys were scouted. So we scouted from basically over here up to this little triangle, which is like the best deployment for Chaos Cult, especially with that scout move. We have the Seekers that scouted up as well. We did get to go first in this mission. So I'm thinking, all right, Avatar Arcane is all the way out front. Let's try and see if we can kill an Avatar Arcane. With the -1 damage, they're all damage 1, but there's just so many damage coming into him with lethals on 6s, all the little guys on 6s, +1 to wound, +1 to hit turn 1, like full rerolls to hit and wound with this list. All right, and we're back. So we're going over the Avatar Arcane. Basically, I want to try and charge up, get to the Avatar, and then he's got 2 actually characters right behind this wall, which I didn't see until I made the charge. But if I can kill these 2 characters and the Avatar Arcane turn 1, he basically should just call the game at that point. He's got no buffing units, no character units. He's only got the uppy downy, the troop unit, the guardsman, and this big brick of dudes, and the dude that gives him extra CP right there. So what had happened turn 1? That was my roll. So I was about 5 inches away, so I needed a 3 on the charge. To make it into the Avatar Arcane, and turn 1, first charge roll of the entire tournament, I roll boxcars. So that was kind of disheartening. That like really screwed up my plans on turn 1, because I was saving that CP for the full rerolls to hit and wound, and that's me saying, hey, thanks guys for ruining my first game at Nova by rolling double ones. Look how close we were. 3, 4, maybe 5 inches. So if I rolled a 3, I could have got into the Avatar Arcane and successfully made the charge, but instead I rolled a 2, which +2 to the charge because of a Desperate Pack. That's only a 4, so that's 3, 4 inches. That stops me right there, right outside 1 inches of the Avatar Arcane. So that was busted. So I needed a reroll for the CP, which these guys proc their once per game advance and charge. Yes, that was the first roll, guys. Oh god, that was insane. But we did get the charge off with the reroll. But I didn't get the full rerolls to hit and wound. Now the Avatar Arcane doesn't have the +1 or -1 to wound up on him, which is at that point he's unkillable. So I was like, all right, let's go for it. I took him down to 8 wounds, even without the full rerolls. So if we would have had the full rerolls, that basically would have taken him out of the game. And then these 2 guys, I took this guy down to 2 wounds because I just flubbed the attack rolls. I think I put 1 guy into there. I rolled a 6 for the attacks, but then I only wounded him like 3 or 4 times. He saved one of his fate dice for the last roll, so he rolled like 4 4-ups or 3 4-ups, failed 1, and then he used the last die roll to pass the last save, so he lives on 2 wounds. So that was nuts. And then this guy didn't take anything because I didn't have enough attacks into him. But we tied up the 2 characters. Should have killed this character. Should have killed Kane. Yeah, then we wouldn't have to worry about the -1 to wound onto like this big brick unit for the rest of the game or anywhere. Then the Seekers obviously moved up. I probably could have put the Seekers maybe see, I wanted to keep these guys in his zone as much as possible. So the Seekers moved up and then they advanced. They rolled a 6, but with the pivot, it's only 5. And I couldn't get around to this thing to stop him from moving that way. So I gave him a little bit of a distance, kind of move back this way and then charge this way to kind of swing around to get past them. So they didn't do as good as I thought they would, moving up and advancing over to here. Maybe I should have kept them like right behind here, just to see what they do, and then next turn I could have moved them up, advanced them up, and just did a circle around these guys for that turn. So maybe I should have, like, since I couldn't get there fully, I should have just kind of kept them behind this little terrain piece, so that way next turn they could have moved up and done something. So that was the end of turn 1, guys. We advanced up everybody else. The Rhino moved up. These guys advanced up. These guys are just kind of all over the place. But you can just see the amount of bodies moving up. We have 70 guys in reserves. So we have the Accursed Cultists in reserves. We have 2 Traitor Guardsmen, 2 Cultists, the Beast of Nurgle, and the Demonettes. All in reserve every single game. So if you guys are asking what is in reserve, that's in every single reserve, every single game. So the next turn he moves up. He kills all but 2 of these guys, which I actually have behind enemy lines this turn. So I get behind enemy lines just by moving these guys back, and then I think I auto-passed their leadership so that way they don't fail. So that got me 3 points for behind enemy lines. But these guys obviously killed the Seekers, and they started moving closer towards my objective. The Avatar Arcane scooted up with 8 wounds. These fight first guys, they basically moved out this way, and then charged to take these guys down to 2 wounds, or 2 guys. So we tanked a Avatar Arcane, an entire troop unit, that one round. So then he wasn't able to kill me. And then what I did was I moved up all my guys as I possibly could, and shot the shit out of the troop unit. So Ynnari was a little bit towing this terrain piece right there, which means I could see them. So I just put everybody within 12 inches of the Ynnari girl right here. So that way, even though he removed his troop units, she had to stay there. So all the shots just kept going into her until we finished off that entire troop unit and her, I think with like a melt or a plasma. And then we started moving down this way because now the troop unit went up this way to deal with my yellow unit. So I then started kind of bringing everybody down here to camp this objective. So you see these guys came on down here. They failed their charge into the solo character that basically flew back over here 14 inches. So they basically came down here, and now I have this entire objective. I basically have this objective with a Beast of Nurgle, 20 OBSEC, Cypher, Bio on the Rhino, and some Nurglings. And then up here, we're just kind of throwing bodies as much as possible to keep these guys off the objective. So at this point, I think he fails his charge. He makes it with the fight first guy, blocks out Avatar Arcane, so he can't get base to base with anybody, so that charge would be far. And then these guys failed the charge. So right when this failed their charge, he was within 12 inches of Cypher, couldn't re-roll it because it would be too whatever it's called, 2 CP to re-roll it. At that point, we called it. So him failing that charge, we called it after round 2, I believe. So after round 2, we called it. We rolled his secondaries to see what he would have gotten, and then we maxed turn 1 with 100, and then he got 59 with his secondaries coming out of the game. So you can, if you're a good opponent, you can let them, obviously they called it so you're getting 100, but you can let them flip their secondary to see what they would have gotten, because those battle points could play into factor later on in the tournament. So you don't want to give them just like whatever they have at that point. You want to say, hey, let's see how many points you could have gotten. Obviously you got the win already. So even if they go like max points, you still got the win. So there's no denying him points from this point. So you get 100, he gets and then boom, you shake hands, you go over, and like that. So I think the biggest mistake for us was failing the double ones turn 1, and then having the Seekers waiting back a little bit right there. I don't think I could have played this any differently. We killed basically all his chaff by the end of the game. So we wanted to kill basically all the Guardians, the uppy downy chicks, the flamer guys, the spiders, and some of the characters. So we wanted to kill as much of his chaff and leave his brick and Avatar Arcane, and that's it. So if he has those 2 models, he's not winning the game. That's basically the goal into Eldar, is kill all the small guys and leave his big bricks that usually don't die anyway. So that was a good round 1. We're feeling confident. We go into round 2 now against Dark Angels. This is our local boy Kyle. So this game, I thought I was going to lose. This is going to be a fun game to talk about because this was insane. I think Dark Angels are one of the best armies in the game right now. So he's got the Deathwing Knights, which are just unkillable, so we ignore them. He's got the Blade Champ dudes right here. He's got the Jump Intercessors. He's got a full unit of bikes with the bike captain unit. Like it's a 4-man unit that can bring guys back. 4 wounds each. Like they all have plasma, which is just scary. They also can come in turn 1, I found out. He told me like 15 times, and I didn't know what to do with that. So then he's got the Lion, which is badass. He's got the Lion character unit. He's got Azrael. I think that's Azrael. This is the character unit with the captain. Another Jump Intercessor. Some Scouts. And I believe that is it. So it's a pretty cool. He's got an awesome banner as well. It's a pretty cool Dark Angels list. He's had this for 12 years, he told me. I was like, that's legit. We actually had a banner as well at Nova, which was pretty cool. We hung it up so everybody can see from the Dirtbags where we were. He's got a sick Dark Angels hoodie as well. So Kyle, going into this game, we get first turn again. He puts a Lion. I was like, do I want to kill Lion turn 1? Like I probably could have if we went for it, but I failed turn 1 with the cane, so I was like, all right, we're not going to do that this game. We're more just going to try and block out the zone. Now, again, we went into, so like I said, this came in clutch. Day 2, or game 2, was Burden of Trust, which was super confusing. Prepared Positions, which I forget what that one was. And then Search and Destroy, which is the 9-inch circle. That was every single second game mission. Search and destroy, which is great for this list because you're just so freaking fast. But we're 9-inch circle, so you can see I put everything up front. We put the cultist in a little string out here for meat shield, so that way if he does get turn 1, he didn't put anybody in the line, but if he does get turn 1, he has to charge into my meat shield first. And then for our scout move, we scout up obviously in the same position over here or directly towards that way. And then we put everybody else on the line over here just so they can get some turn 1 secondaries if I get anything out of the thing. Nurglings are up here behind this little cover to try and block his turn 1 rapid ingress, which is just busted. So 9 inches from this corner would get him to about there. So the turn 1, they would come in up here or over here. So what I tried to do is I just advanced as far as I possibly could. So I only got to about here, which pushed them back 9 inches to this corner. And then I got to about here, which pushed them about like 9 inches that way. So I don't know if he could fit right there. So he couldn't really he would have to come back here for the rapid ingress. So that helped out. He didn't want to come this way because all my guys were right there, but there's really nothing around at the bottom here. So he rapid ingress, basically not his deployment zone, but on his side of the table. So that way they can just kind of move up 14, shoot, and then charge. So this is where he messed up, which we'll go over. And then this is where I try to block out turn 1. So I kept my guys safe. I waited for the counter charge. These guys are all just waiting for turn 2 charges. Same with these guys. These guys probably could have been more further forward because of the bikes. I messed that up a lot. Like these guys should be dead, which we'll get into. We keep our characters safe. So this character is behind the wall, strung out. This character is behind the wall. So again, if you're running these guys, do not reveal your characters at all. They will precision them out. Good players are going to go after your characters and try and kill them. Cypher is right in the center, surrounded by some cultists. Again, he's there to stop Armor Contempt and fight first, and interrupt and all that stuff. So Cypher's kind of like snuck right in the between there. Rhino with Bile got up onto this objective. These guys are for second wave. Nurgling's still over there. Made that sticky, spread out. He's got, I think, 1 unit in Deep Strike, so we have to still block out the backfield. And then we put as many points as we possibly can on here. So we have the red unit, the yellow unit, this cultist unit, and these guys I don't think were on the point. Yeah, I think we kept them off the point this turn. But then, yeah, the Seekers basically moved up as far as they could, stayed outside 1 inch, and then just blocked. Which, again, I left them a little bit of room to move around this way, but that's fine because then I have a counter charge going this way. How he should have deployed was he should have put all 3 knight units just in a line, like kind of how I did with my cultist. Just put them in a line on the object or on the terrain, in the deployment zone and just walk them forward in a line, all holding hands, all moving forward, because I'm not going to be able to kill them, and I'm not going to be able to shoot them off. So if you just do that with line behind them, he has like just a wall of knights just marching forward, like in Troy, the Troy with the shield wall. So that would be his game plan. Now let's get into the next turn. This is what the bikes do. So the bikes moved up, shot basically all the cultists off the table. He didn't want to shoot the green unit, because if he did shoot the green unit, they would have piled in or got closer to the enemy units. So what I said to him was, if he just moves up and shoots as many shots as possibly can into the green unit, who cares if I get a little bit closer? You're just taking out all of my accursed cultists on the bottom of the objectives. He also wanted to charge the green unit. So he moved up, shot this unit, and then he wanted to make that charge. This is the first mistake of the game, order of activation. So he charged in, I believe, the knights up here. So when he charged the knights in right here first, I then countercharged the green unit to get them the fuck away from the bikes down here. So I was within 6 inches with this like solo guy over here. So when he charged in the knights, I then countercharged, rolled like an 8 or something with the Desperate Pact, and then countercharged into the knights, which then took me too far away from the bikes, and they needed like a 10 or something on the charge, which they failed, and then didn't re-roll it. So that basically almost won me the game, is just staying away from these bikes down here, because if he kills that unit, I would have to make a 9-inch charge on turn 2 to try and get into them. And if I fail it, I basically lose the game, because then he just moves up, shoots the shit out of these guys, and then charges these guys, take these guys off the board. So the bikes could have killed the green unit and the red unit and basically won the game, because I think the knights and line could take up the yellow unit over here. So we kill the line with the full rerolls to hit and wound. The other guys got into my Seekers, so basically charged all the Seekers with most of the Knights to move them forward, and Azrael, and then the Lion charged into my AC/DC brick, which he fought first, obviously. My character was too far back, so he couldn't see her, and then I did the full reroll Tate and Wound with all my big guys, which killed the Lion. So the Lion went down in one turn, which was awesome. But he left this little gap here. So he's got a knight there, and we're like, all right, we can go after the knights or go after his entire backfield, which is what we did. So we advance and charge this turn into his backfield, like string these guys out as far as we possibly can. We bring the character with us because most of them are going to survive over here and all these guys are going to die. So the character then moves up this way, so that way I don't have to worry about coherency. And I charge in and kill all of his guys on his objective, and then these guys are back here. I did charge them, but they fell back, so that way they can charge back in. So we stole his home field objective. The knights just keep getting move blocked by rhinos and and cultists, so literally just keep throwing guys at him as he has to just keep beating his way through to try and get to the objectives. So then we bring on more cultists over here, the Nurglings start coming out, all the other cultists start moving up. We brought these guys in to try and make that 9-inch charge. We failed the charge. So we try and run these guys up as far as possible to try and do another meat shield going this way. So these guys are a little bit out of sight to shoot behind this terrain feature. So when they move up, they have to kind of go this way and then potentially get some shots off, but it won't be that many. And they don't really want to get into combat with these guys. These guys are the one with the strength 6 +1 attack. So after this, basically comes down to more cultists coming in the backfield. The Beast of Nurgle coming in up here. We're basically surrounding the Dark Angels. He finally gets his guys close to my backfield. We put another 20 OBSEC, 2, 4, 6, 7, 14 OBSEC on the center, more meat shields. This whole game was just stay back. Just keep throwing meat shields of cultists at the Deathwing Knights, because we're not killing them. We're literally just throwing grenades and then just moving forward. 20 OBSEC on this point. All these 3 cultists back here, more meat shields up front. The Nurglings just kept following the guys. I kept charging his guys with my Rhino and Nurglings. Just say, hey, keep charging. And then down here, we back up the green guys to charge in, and then the red guys were charged by the bikes last turn. So we used the green squad that should have been dead to then move up and charge and kill the bikes with a 4-year-old's hit wound. Finishes off to 2 guys, and then the red guys go and finish off the character you get assassinate. So the green unit killed all but 2 bikes, and then the red unit moves up and finishes them off with the +1 attack and +1 strength. Demonettes came down, deep strike, make the 8-inch charge, so they steal this objective from them, which, like I said, Demonettes clutch, and then everybody else came in their backfield. So end of the game, he's got 2 Deathwing Knights in the center. I got 2 OBSEC, he's 2 OBSEC, so we tie there. I have that top one. I basically have everybody on the bottom zone back here. I got the green unit over here. He's got some knights and character, and then I have his home field objective back here. So it was a bloody game. Finished up with 98 to 44 for the Dark Angels. We kept him to a 4 for primary, and then a 0, and then a 0. And then he got either a 10 or a 12, probably 12 on turn 5 because he went second. Then he has 6, 2, 5, 0, 5, which is 18. So finished up with 44 for the primary. We had 8, 4, 9, 12, 5. So 38 out of 40. And then obviously we had max primary. We get 8, 4, 12, 6. I think this is one where you have to guard it. So we're guarding almost every objective. Then 16, and then 8 or something. So we max out at 50. So great game, Kyle. Awesome local dude. We played a while back in RTT, which he was super tired. The first game we played. So I'm glad we got to get that rematch going. All right, so let's get into game number 3 of the first day. Going into 3-0 in the first day is such a huge weight off your shoulders because you have a lot of pressure. Obviously, you have 9 games with Nova. So trying to get a 3-0 win game 1 is just a lot of confidence going into game 2, and just have that sigh of relief, have some beers afterwards, take the stress off, and then go into day 2. So this game 3 of the day, going against Nids, one of the tougher matchups for the Chaos Cult because of all the leadership shenanigans. This is a really good game. This was against a local guy who actually plays in a bunch of GTs, and this was I'm gonna describe this game as an awkward game because we only made it to turn 2. So let me tell you what I was going to do. Let me tell you what he was going to do, and then we'll kind of decide what you guys think on how this game went or goes. So for this, he's got a bunch of big bugs. He's got a bunch of lictors, a bunch of small guys. He's got the Vect, which is going to come up in a little bit. He's got the Swarm Lord, which I think is really good in 10th edition with the Vect rules. He's got 2 of the Biovore dudes, or the Flame guy, Biovore. I don't know if it's the same model. The Turvagon, 2 big guns, Turvagon, another big gun, Brain Bug, the Brain Bug that has the -1 leadership, Lictor, Character Lictor. These used to be the Gene Stealers, so a bunch of Gene Stealers with the Brood Lord and another Lictor. Then he's got these little dudes, the Gaunts, little guys, and he's got a unit of Hormagaunts on the backfield objective. And I think he's got old. Did he have old one? No, he didn't have old one in this game. That was the next tier new player. So we happen to go first in this matchup. We go for the same game plan. We move up our Seekers. 14. I forgot that he has a Overwatch with this dude right here, which is like a 2 damage, 2d6 flamer, strength 8 or something like stupid. So he Overwatches and kills 3 guys. We happen to get 2 guys to live. So we try to block out as much as we possibly could with only 2 guys. Didn't really pan out because you could still move over these the stuff. He had the Lictors, the other Lictor, which all have Lone Op outside 12. And then he brought his Gene Stealers up here, Scout 9, I believe. We scout forward our yellow unit, and then this is the mission where you can bring, it is this mission right here. So day 3, Purge the Foe, which is my hardest matchup. So I'm like, all right, if I can get past this matchup, we're golden. Rapid escalation, which is if you have battle line, you can bring them in up to 200 points turn 1. So our guys are only 70 points each, so we can bring basically 2 Trader Guardsmen and a Cultist unit in turn 1 and still be under the points. And then we have Crucible Battle. So that is the one going diagonal. So we were able to bring in 2 traded guardsman unit down here outside 9 inches of this unit up here. So we were able to get a bunch of pot shots off on these 4-up save Gene Sailors, which we killed a bunch of them. There was about 4 or 5 left after all the shots. And then there was the Broodlord and then these dudes. Now you can see where we ended up right here. So this game, very casual game, like take backs, you know, yada yada. We do the same thing every single turn 1. We basically move up our guys, advance, charge, kill as much as we possibly can, and then consolidate and tie up as much as we can. That's what we do every single game. This game, we moved up our guys to right about here in the center. And my goal was to charge. There was a little Nora Lictor, I think, right here, who doesn't have fight first. The other 2 guys have fight first. So I keep my guys right here and I charge only that model. So that way I successfully make the charge with 1 guy. All the other guys can then just move closer. And then on my turn, I can pile in and get around the fight first. He spent a CP for the Overwatch, so he doesn't have a CP to heroic or countercharge. So I basically put all my big guys in range of the character lictor and this unit over here with the Broodlord, and then all the small guys with 1 big guy in these 2 guys. So my goal this turn is to kill the character lictor, the Nora lictor, the other lictor, and the Gene Stealer with the Brood Swarm. If I can kill all of that turn 1, I basically have this bottom board for the rest of the game, because all of his big bugs are up here. We'll basically just fight over the middle and the top one, and then I'll have this one and this one for the rest of the game. Plus, it's kill more. So if I can just kill all the little guys, I mean, you don't get it turn 1, but if I can kill the little guys, I don't have to worry about my characters getting sniped out because they have precision. This is where it gets dicey. I make the charge. I go to spend my 1 CP for the full rerolls to hit and wound. He then goes Vect. I'm like, fuck. Man, that would have been nice to know. And the reason I say that is because if I remembered, or I know he has Vect. He's Swarmlord. He has Vect. This is my mistake. If I would have remembered that he had Vect, I could have went this way, which nothing else changes. Instead of going north, I could have went south, charge into that 1 guy, which I did, and then pile in this way and stay outside 12 inches of the Vect ore. If I have to leave the Gene Stealer Broodlords alone, that's fine, but I think I could have been at least 1 inch away of the 12-inch Vect, because I think the Vect went barely to the Broodlord down here. So could have got the Lictor, and then a little bit of the other units, but then I didn't have to worry about the whatever, because they would have died. This guy lives on 5 wounds. This guy lives on a bunch of wounds. These guys didn't die. So yeah, I kill 1 Nora Lictor, and all these guys live because of that freaking Vect right there. So then that's the first part of it. That's the crap I wish you would have told me. I would have known. I would have remembered. Whatever. That was the first thing. Then he goes into round 2 with his big bugs. And all these guys that were over here, right, moving over the barrel, these guys move out this way, they were moving forward because they all wanted to shoot this yellow unit and just take them, delete it off the table, either the green unit or the yellow unit. So they all moved forward, got within range of the yellow unit, and then everybody else kind of moves up. He then goes I was like, hey, remember Blood Boon, right? Because that's how I play. Remember Blood Boon. And he goes, honestly, man, I totally forgot about Blood Boon. Do you mind if I take all that back? I was like, sure. I already went too far in my charge phase, all that stuff. I couldn't really take all those models and just move them on the other side of the table to do that. So it's my take back would have been way different than this take back, but still was a lot of models that had to be removed. So all these guys then back up, and we had to basically spend about 15-20 minutes figuring out where he could have been placed, because the barrel here was kind of weird, so he had to get all the way on the other side of the barrel with his full movement without advancing. Then this guy, same thing. So I didn't know where he was, couldn't remember where he started, all that stuff. So basically we spent a lot of time moving all these guys over here. The Neurolictor had 1 wound left up here with a bunch of shots turn 1. And then these guys kind of scooted up over here. So he comes out to play. The guys that I didn't kill in this detachment, he can fall back and charge, which great. So he falls back all the lictors, charges into my units, and then kills my characters. So he charges in. I think he kills the Dark. Does he kill the Dark Apostle? Yeah, so he kills the Dark Apostle. He kills my character chick. So literally it's I have like, shit, they should have died with the 4 Earls and wound. They didn't die. Now my guys died. So it's like a huge uphill battle at this point. So after this turn, I don't think I could have wrapped it in. I didn't take another picture because, again, this was done after turn 2. So I say, hey, do you want to put the clock on after round 1? Because they were like, all right, you have to start round 3. Like, they give announcements every single round at Nova, so like you can keep pace with the battle round. So he's like, all right, you should be starting round 3. We just got done, or in the middle of bottom 1. So I'm like, hey, do you want to do clock? He's like, nah, I think we'll finish. I was like, all right, cool. So then we get to turn 2, my turn 2. And then we finish my turn 2 by me moving up, and I believe we killed everybody that I should have killed last turn. We brought the guns out. We killed a bunch of the Hormigons. We killed the Broodlord, the Gene Stealer, the Lictor, this Lictor. So we had like 5 or 6 kills this turn, like a whole bunch of small guys. So all he has is really the big bugs left. Yeah, mainly all the big bugs left. And I just have a bunch of bodies that are like kind of getting closer to the big bugs, trying to steal the objectives. So at this point, we finish. I don't think I took a picture of the final point. Yeah, so I don't have the scores, but I finished up, I believe, with a 58. So how we determined this final matchup was after my turn 2, Judge comes over and says, hey, what turn are you guys on? We're like, we just got done top of 2. He's like, oh, shit. So he comes back with the clock. We have about 9 minutes left on each side because there's only 18 minutes left in the round. We start his turn 2 with 9 minutes left. So he puts it on his time. He's starting his round, does 9 minutes, gets done, killing a bunch of guys. I honestly don't remember what the end of this is because we go by points. So after his round 2, he clocks. I have about 9 minutes left. The round ends. We get into bottom 2. So I'm leading this point now in points. I think I have maybe like 7 points more than him on round 2, and then going into round 3, I would have had like the hold 1, hold more, and then kill at least 1. So then I start doing the points, and he's asking me like, all right, what do you want to do a draw? And I was like, honestly, man, like I lost Las Vegas Open last year because of this exact situation, except the guy didn't even give me an option. Basically, the guy last year was like, hey, dice down, I won, good game. Like it was one of the worst experiences I've had in 40k, which you can check that out in the Las Vegas video from last year. But this situation, I was trying to talk him out, trying to explain to him like, hey, I can't do that just because I am winning in points. Now, there's 3 more turns that we have no idea what can happen. Like, yes, you are in a good advantage because of that turn 1 Vect, but we honestly have no idea. Like, it could go literally either way right now. The clocks are down, dice down, can't go anymore. Us flipping over secondaries and figuring out like what could happen, too far gone in the game. If it was turn 4 and we could finish out turn 5, yeah, 100%, I agree. Let's figure out who would have won on turn 5. If we're tied at this point, going into round 3 or the end of round 3, yeah, let's call it a draw. I agree with you. We fucked up. We should have put it on a clock. But again, I'm winning going into round 3, and even if he would have got 10 points for secondaries and I got 0, it would have been I still would have been winning by like 2 or 3. So it's like, what do you do in this situation? So we talked about 20 minutes. Judge keeps asking like, hey, did you put your scores in? We're like, no, we're trying to figure out what the hell we're doing. I don't want to be the guy to be like, hey, good game and walk away. So after this, I and him decide, yes, I'm going to take the win. I was winning going into this turn. We should have done clock. We should have done this. It's too far gone in the game, so we have no idea what would have happened. So this was kind of like one of those awkward, you don't want to be a dickhead. You don't want to steal something away from another opponent, but we both are good players. We're both going for the win. And if we have the draw, we're not winning, So it's like, it's just so hard in this exact situation. This is why you should play clocks every single game. Like going to a GT, not even the option to play on a clock is not my suggestion ever. Losing Las Vegas Open last year because of this exact situation is why I always play clocks in RTTs and GTs. So this situation, we won on turn 2 because we were up by 7 points after round 2, and then going into round 3, we still would have been up. And there's too much far gone in the game. So this situation didn't take back the Vect, gave a lot of takebacks. We basically were talking most of the time about what would happen if I move here, here, here. Like it was basically a lot of strategy type game. That's why we only made it to round 2. And yeah, so it was a weird situation against Nids. So we won game 3 in an awkward game tie time situation, and not realizing that I had Vect turn 1, which I could have changed a little bit differently. So that was the game for 3. Sorry it wasn't as exciting as possible, but we do have another game of Nids coming into round 4. So if you guys are on Patreon, you'll get this first to review and watch and study. And then if you guys are not, head over to Patreon so you guys support the channel. If you guys are interested in the merch, head over and get the merch stuff. Merch store is up in the link below. And any dice, widgets, poker chips, models, and stickers, you message me on Discord. Appreciate, let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, and how we can improve in these types of battle reports. And stay tuned for video 2 and then video 3 on how we win the Nova Open 2024. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon. What's up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40k in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but this only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month tier. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive Dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the Dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40k, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40k 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000 point list, 1,500 point list, 2,000 point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive Dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit of red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other Dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest.
If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. Guys, I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40k, head over to Patreon, join the Competitive Dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. Mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024, is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the Wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the Competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.